But I think we got our map picks going on here, and they're in the middle of draft at the moment. First game's going to be Taiko Temple, selected by the boys, followed by Atlas Lab by Showtime, and I believe it was Night Market was the last pick for the
Yeah.
maps here. What do you think of this draft that we're seeing that coming up here with the heavy impact glass cannon start?
Yeah, I think I mean Vice just banned away immediately. You cannot let Vaughn get this character. We just came off of a lane where Vaughn basically just picked that character the entirety of day two and won with it. It was in yeah, it looked incredibly good on it. Heavy Impacts being one of Vice's best, probably awakenings means that she's just kind of a threat to contend with. Notably though, that does mean that Zentaro does go to that first pick, a very good start with Heavy Impact as well. I think Glass Cannon as well is a little bit interesting. It's something that's been recently rotated back. A lot of goalies especially love to see it. But I'll see if any of the anyone really picks it up over the heavy impacts. There's just like a lot of damage, a lot of cooldown, things that you generally want in most characters. I think the only character I see on that draft that's likely to pick that glass cannon is going to be that Finny on the side of boys. I expect to see you already lose on that pick. I think it's something that we've seen him pull out a lot at LAN, and it's going to be very, very good for that glass cannon, especially now that Finny is, lore accurate rabbit, runs around at Mach 16, does so well with any sort of, increase in move speed, or percentage increase in move speed as well. So that's something I'll expect. But we'll see going to this game here.
Yeah, just I remember talking, I think like a month ago, about how I think Finny would be in a much better spot than she was if she just got 5 more move speed. And then she got 5 more move speed, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, she's a speed demon." And here she is. She's been really showing up in both the LAN, recent NASL matches, and really a lot of solo queue games and things like that. Especially in the goalie position, in like you said with those momentum boots. So gaining the speed here from Glass Cannon. Yep, you called it, Brickbat. The only one taking Glass Cannon here is You Already Lose on the Finny goalie. And she's able to just go crazy. But I think one of the interesting things here is Bells actually opting for the Vicious Vambrace. A lot of people tend to just go slicks, right, or even siphoning one, but Bell's opting to just try and survive through this onslaught of damage that is the Showtime team.
Yeah, he picked kind of the immobile X. One of the proper pieces of counterplay you have is he has very little to defend himself. He's also incredibly slow. So you could hit him with a lot of damage, and there's very little that he could do about it. So that Vambrace is probably looking to counteract a lot of those times where Joker is just going to look to walk back and just basically dump his combo on a Bells. Another thing that's really, really interesting as well, this Powerhouse Pauldrons here on on Megaverse, probably looking to do the same thing with the kind of the difference being he's probably looking to avoid that knockback, as right now one person who is knocked back is going to be Joker, spending 8 more seconds here in the penalty box. Bells pops the X Maximus, nothing going to be found just quite yet. Now Bells, though, has a good bell ringer, able to take it out. Shianzu maybe not long for this world either. Flip not quite out from Vaughn yet. There it does go. And the right click there on Vaughn, the piercing shot, scores both Shianzu and the goal here. Dominant point from SADBOIS coming out of the gate.
And this is just showing the power of heavy impact on a cell, right? Every single piercing shot this game so far, Vaughn has hit both the core and the target that he was looking for, thus getting the cooldown. It's just, look at this. Just shoot them. Who cares if you need to play the game? Just get them out of the game with this heavy impact Estelle. And these perfect passes to Bells, the perfect strike. This team play from SADBOIS is just going absolutely nuts on the back of this midfield from Vaughn.
Yeah, absolutely well played. You Already Lose now going to find himself on the defensive. Card Trick not going to find anything just quite yet, but Bella's here now in a 1v1 with the flip. Doesn't even need it. Good use of the X Maximus strike reset. Mixing up Megaverse, really no chance of reacting there. And that's going to be a second point from Boys coming out. And yeah, I just got to agree, Taiko Tempo a little bit more claustrophobic than some of the more open maps that we're used to seeing. And I think SADBOIS is taking full advantage of that right now, threatening so many KOs, especially unstaggered KOs against the side of Showtime here. If that keeps up, we're not going to have too long of a game here, as right now Shianzu is looking to march the core upfield, but not finding too much success here.
SADBOIS tend to be even more comfortable on those open maps, so having them just feel this comfortable on this claustrophobic of a map, although they do really enjoy Taiko Temple, as Vaughn gets the last barrier here, and this is looking like a pretty quick set. as Bell's pushing up with the flip from You Already Lose, gets it off the corner, nowhere for Megaverse to clear it, and a clean 3-0 from SADBOIS.
Yeah. I mean, look at the move speed from that Fitty. I don't know what the exact thing was as we got in the MVP screen, but I mean, yeah, 125, an extra 15 over, I believe, over Vaughn, just right there. But going into this is big. Quick strikes, I think, looking good for Vaughn right now. Gonna pick that up, kind of the quintessential midfield pick. Stacks on stacks and Orb Dancer as well. Open for You Already Lose, does opt into the Orb Dancer, and see what Bell's opted into. Is the Rampage, has the stacks, hasn't even cast the last, but with 2 barriers on the map, Rampage is looking incredibly good. The X size, of course, is gonna make it really hard for Megaverse, even with his increased size, to really do anything. So actually kind of like the missile propulsion in that hindsight, just to be able to influence the midfield to make sure that they don't get SADBOIS doesn't get that win condition of getting, you know, Bells in that 1v1 where size is going to mean quite a bit.
Yeah, the Fini getting the speed here is really going to probably punish Showtime a bit, because Fini getting 2 sets of speed awakenings means she can hit upwards of like 850 speed without being Octavia and stacking it forever, which is wild. But Shianzu and Joker finding the barriers here, and You Already Lose whiffing the strike on the pass, and Shianzu just strikes it right in. Easy goal, easy life. First goal.
Absolutely good play. I think that is the one weakness that Fini does have. She likes to play from that midfield line, play very aggressive. We saw earlier with Lily Bun on Bun Bun Bonanza, but in situations where you are actually able to get pretty claustrophobic, as we do see Vaughn right now going to be sent off the map. Fini actually can't really do much defensively. She's very, very bad defensively. Slightly better than Era, I believe, kind of the other big momentum boots goalie user, but she won't be able to handle a lot of those situations. As right now, SADBOIS is able to find a KO of their own. You Already Lose walking up so far here with this flip, giving a little bit of time for Bells to catch up. Right now, though, Bells trying to find the core right now, not going to get that final barrier, is able to get it, though, with a good pass from Vaughn here. Vaughn now staggered, trying to find it, but it's actually going to be the card from You Already Lose sniping away that goal. Now SADBOIS find themselves on the board this set.
The solo queue Fini goalie special, just a card out of nowhere to just hit the core and catch everyone by surprise for the goal. I mean, You Already Lose doesn't even need the speed if he can just make these snipes happen. But I will say, while KOs are coming for both sides of Showtime and BOIS, it's BOIS that are finding the ability to make these pressures happen. I mean, look at Shianzu. Shianzu's just unable to basically make anything happen, while BOIS are able to make things happen while staggered, while pressured. Oh, I say that, and Vaughn gets actually pressured by Joker there. And I think it's on the back of that BOIS can make this work, but Showtime proving that they still have a lot of fight left in them.
Yeah, and right now, Joker is trying to get some damage here on the You Already Lose. A KO will be incredibly big, especially if they are able to reset those orb counts. But right now, it's going to be Bells on the offensive yet again. X Maximus not going to find the goal. And a good glitch pop from Shianzu, able to snipe it away from You Already Lose. The big finish not there in time, and unfortunately, You Already Lose forced to just sadly watch that goal go in right now. As Showtime going to be finding themselves 1 point up here on the set.
It was a little too slow with that big finish to catch it, and the big finish actually just helps it go in even faster. Unfortunately for You Already Lose, is Vaughn looking not too long for this world against the Zentaro. Has one evade, but not much left, and yeah, gets barraged into the middle. Down Vaughn goes, and now it's Showtime's chance to try and take a set here against the SADBOIS.
Yeah, they are winning the Brawler field, and as I say that, a Caster's Curse really strikes here. The Shianzu is going to be picked off there in the bottom right corner. Flip comes out from Megaverse, unfortunately, is only able to save 1 barrier. And no, not even that, as You Already Lose now on the offensive with this Fini speed. Bells now in the 1v1, able to take that. Megaverse not able to really get that. Had to guess and guess incorrectly. Now we are on set 5 here, or 0.5 here on the set.
That 50-50 situation, I think, is where Bells is like the best, is probably the best in my opinion. He just always knows, he always seems to have that 50-50 call out of just striking the core the direction it continues to move, whereas most people would redirect it the opposite direction, which is what Megaverse actually went for there. But Megaverse completing the double KO here, Showtime tried to find some footing here, but getting the barrier off the Zentaro primary, but a great strike from Vaughn slows down the play, allows B.O.I.S to come back and try and make something here. And the Estelle play coming out from Vaughn, just barely not able to make it. And we kind of reset back to the neutral game here as everyone's back, but the big finish gets the last barrier. And the triple take almost passes it right to B.O.I.S, but not able to make the score happen. I don't even know what's going on anymore, Brickbat.
Yeah, we saw a lot of just kind of KOs coming out right now, but we do have an open app for both teams. Now, Shianzu almost sent off, almost able to send Vaughn off as well, but nothing's just quite found now. Joker Shianzu looking to play a little bit aggressive here. Megaverse waiting in the wings, trying to find an opportunity himself. Nothing going to be found right now, though, as right now in a 2v3 situation, Shianzu and Megaverse able to hold, goes right up to B.O.I.S again, not able to find the bull rush, and again, Vaughn with possession of the court, trying to get his brawler one more shot, and there it is. The 1v1 found yet again by B.O.I.S. SADBOIS in a close set. Find themselves up 2-0 here and one set away from taking game one.
A close set indeed, and yet another 50-50 that B.O.I.S just continues to strike the chord towards the direction it was already going, just catching Megaverse off guard yet again. And now Fini kind of has pick of the litter here. Extra special, Deadeye both available. Might leave it up to see what X can get at the end of the day. Opts for the Deadeye for the damage. Extra special taken by Megaverse. Probably going to come in pretty good handy here with the weirdly the heavy impact and the missile prop for extra damage on that ult. The ad rush denied onto the X. X grabbing the prize fighter, and Joker actually taking Reptile Remedy away from Vaughn, who opts to take aerials. Pretty much everyone taking something pretty good here. The ad rush is a little weird on the IME, but I think it still works just fine.
Yeah, and Shianzu has been assisting in a lot of KOs, despite, you know, being the one being KO'd right there. But I think another big pickup as well, that extra special on the heavy impact missile prop Kai, it's actually incredibly dangerous, especially when in Taiko Temple you are forced to play by the edge quite a bit in order to get some continuous pressure going. So in those situations, a lot of snipes can come out from Megaverse and find SADBOIS caught unprepared. As right now, though, it's going to be B.O.I.S able to go on the offensive here. Joker not long, going to find himself in the penalty box, but B.O.I.S has evade to work with, but not a lot of stagger, as right now he's going to heal a lot of that back up. Actually, the Vicious Fan Brace really putting in work here right now. Megaverse now trying to just get the core clear right now, as B.O.I.S finally sent it to the penalty box, able to keep the core going, and Vaughn, an excellent core flip to win the interaction, sets himself up for a piercing shot. Excellent play from the midfielder of SADBOIS, as he just scores basically 1v3 there. Excellent play, and now 2 points away from SADBOIS taking game one here.
There is a reason Estelle is banned quite often for a lot of players, because Estelle is just that midfielder that can take over a game almost by herself. I mean, look at this. Vaughn is just going absolutely nuts on this Estelle, and so has many other midfielders. And showing up here against Showtime means that BOIS can probably take a pretty quick 3-0 if Vaughn can keep up this performance going into the later parts of the set.
Yeah, and right now we see a SADBOIS on the offensive yet again. Unfortunately, with Rose Warp does mean that the play is going to end. Joker now has the opportunity to return, but it's going to be cleared away quite easily by You Already Lose. Shianzu fighting for his life, barely going to stay alive, going to be knocked around the court right now, and nothing going to be fine. No purchase going to be found here for Showtime, as right now, again, Bell's the opportunity here to score comes up, but Shianzu's going to pay him his life just to get a little bit more pressure. The flip comes out from Joker, goes straight to You Already Lose. Going to find himself in the grave as well right now, as Megaverse in a 1v3 does manage to get the clear going. Now, Vaughn with the flip there. Bell's almost with a flip himself. Things are looking so dire here for the side of Showtime. Vaughn trying to preserve his flip in this situation, as he's able to get another KO for the side of SADBOIS here. The special coming out from Joker, not going to find anything. Bell's trying to preserve his flip, because it means that this flip, or this play, is going to go on for a little bit while. A good block from Shianzu. Again, though, going to cost him his life in this situation. The piercing shot not going to find anything as well. And right now, Showtime is holding so well. You Already Lose with a flip, a third flip here in the net. It might actually be needed, but it doesn't matter. Megaverse is going to be KO'd again right now. SADBOIS trying to find anything. The card is not going to finish it there as well. Joker and Shianzu are still holding here now. Joker going to be low on stagger, no evade as well. Not going to be KO'd just quite yet though, but as he gets closer to this Taiko drum, things might be hard for him right now. But Xianzu winning strike war after strike war, keeping the core in play. The advantage now is going to Showtime as they are finally able to open it. And a Giga Blast from Megaverse almost finds it. Doesn't find it just quite yet, though. Bell's now in a 1v1 with a Megaverse, but there's just too much space for Megaverse to work with. The big finish is going to be there, blocked away by Xianzu. The X Maximus strike reset almost mixes up the side of Showtime, but right now Joker and Xianzu have one more opportunity, not going to find it. Giga Blast going to come out to keep away from Bell's. The Bell Ringer not going to find the score here. So right now Joker looking very, very low, looking very, very unhealthy. Megaverse, though, pass up to Xianzu. The Blink not going to find anything. It's going to be cleared away. Bells just can't quite find the core, and eventually it will go in. An absolutely amazing play from the side of Showtime. Probably one of the best saves, best holds I've seen this season, if not, honestly, all of NASL. That was insane from all three players. Like, what's that?
I feel like I could hear Vaughn in my head in comms just saying, you know what, boys, just give him the point at this point, because they held against 3 core flips, I think 7 different power plays of 1 or 2 extra KOs, and they ended up getting the point at the end of it all anyway, and might even get this point here, despite all of that. That was just insane. I couldn't tell if SADBOIS was like stat padding the strikes and the scores and the KOs, or if they were just legitimately just not playing, not getting the goal. That was insane.
That was very well played from the side of Showtime, able to take what looks like an absolutely doomed scenario, and it looks like they're gonna have a bit of a momentum swing here. They're finding themselves up here on barrier count right now. The Joker and Xianzu, good defensive play here, preventing Bells from ever really touching the core in this situation. But again, Deja Vu, as one member of Showtime, is going to go down for their defense. But oh my god! What a bounce off of the Psycho Drum! An absolute demon angle hits the perfectly hits the corner. That's like the type of angle that like people try to hit, like because it is actually replicable, but it's like that hard to pull off actually with any sort of consistency, unless like you are like a NASL player, then you practiced it. But like they just got that randomly, and that's an insane point. Going to the side of Showtime, all of a sudden they're going to be up here on this set after looking so hard. But I mean, truth be told, we've seen this story yet again. Xianzu could be taken off the map and open now net here for Megaverse. This time, though, the script does not go in their favor. The X Maximus Bull Rush from Bells is just going to be too much. He's going to be able to hit stun Megaverse and take that point. 1 point away now from SADBOIS taking the game. It looks like we're right back to where we started.
Right back to where we started, but you know who's been on the rampage so far is the man with Rampage himself. Getting the kitty. Oh wow, Vaughn's actually out of the play though. And I can't even finish my statement, and Showtime's about to take this set. They're looking really good for the scoring potential right up to Joker, and Joker gets the strike. You already lose not having the strike, and Showtime actually take a set off the back of that insane second point on that set. And now Joker gets pick of the litter to try and make this game come around in their favor.
I'm like a little confused. I'm gonna admit, like that, I think Vaughn died from like a primary from Zentaro. He just kind of got poked and moved and died from it, and because of that, it looks like Showtime is going to take a set after looking really in like really rough state. Orb Ponder going to come out from the Joker. I think it's big. I think another one to look at as well is going to be this rapid fire. Unfortunately, you really just can't deny size, I think, from the X here in this situation. You really do want to get that Orb Ponder to just potentially get any sort of like damage. I think that a lot of players, they'll look at something like heavy impacts, like the explosive entrance, and be like, oh, that's a really good like damage awakening because it buffs my damage, right? But the cooldowns that you get from a fully stacked Orb Ponder are actually going to give you more damage over a round than any like other like single damage awakening, which is why Joker went for it in that situation. I think if he gets that sort of started, he could really start winning the DPS war here against SADBOIS pretty much single-handedly. And even though the X Maximus, unfortunately, or sorry, the Might of the Colossus has to be denied away, it does go to a Powerhouse Pauldron's heavy impact missile propulsion extra special Kai. So even though right now Showtime find themselves down 2 players in this power play, things are looking okay after that draft from Showtime. But we'll see if they'll be able to hold here, as right now the flip from Vaughn just spells doom for any chance of Showtime coming back that point. Now 1-0 here on this 4th set here.
It's just looking pretty doomed for Showtime simply because they had to deny 2 absolutely critical awakenings away from SADBOIS, allowing SADBOIS to kind of just pick whatever they wanted. Megaverse had to take the Might of the Colossus to prevent X from getting like 250 power at nearly all times. Already has 190 with just the prize fighter. And then having to deny the Ore Ponder away from Fini, who would have just made their lives even more miserable, means Vaughn gets this rapid fire. Rapid fire heavy impact Estelle is just going to beat you up over and over and over. And even if she's not scoring, she's knocking you into the net anyway. Who needs to knock the core into the net when you can knock the players, and then there's nobody left to stop it?
Yeah, absolutely. And already the stagger game, which looks so bad for Showtime, is now looking even worse. Megaverse, even with a powerhouse Pauldrons, finds himself scored in the net, and the core doesn't look like it'll be much long afterwards. The Rose Warp does come in. It's actually going to be defended away by Shianzu and Joker, but that flip is going to be right there yet again. The piercing shot going to take out Shianzu and Vaughn.
Okay. The disrespect.
Yeah, just, I mean, I don't know what to say. Just absolutely, disrespected. The perfect word for that. Disrespected Showtime there. Just stood right there and knew that he had the point if he just was a little bit patient. And now we're just 1 point away. 1 point away from SADBOIS kind of showing up and doing what they're paid for, in a sense. Just getting that win. And Bell is able to find one barrier right now. Megaverse holding, and Shianzu just trying to stay alive right now. So he is able to win a strike war here. The piercing shot comes out, going to put Shianzu very low. The X Maximus is probably going to come out very soon to whisk Shianzu away to the penalty box any second now. The glitch pop, though, trying to keep the core alive. Not going to find too much right now. The piercing shot is only able to send him into a bumper. The flip's going to be gone from Joker now. The core going back and forth between the drums. Vaughn going to go on a little bit of a magical journey, but not going to actually be KO'd there in the end. So right now he's going to pass up to You Already Lose. Nothing Megaverse could do. Had he saved that, he would have really only found himself in the net afterwards. So good play from SADBOIS. A lot of really crazy rallies that we saw. I think a really good defense. Probably one of the best defenses I've ever seen from Showtime. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. SADBOIS are going to be SADBOIS. They're going to find game one here in the series. And hey, if you're Showtime, you got to dust yourself off after that one and look to come back here in game two.
Yeah, the game just kind of got out of their own hands. The Awakenings didn't quite roll in their favor and allowed SADBOIS to kind of just steamroll through the damage, getting the cooldowns that they needed to make sure that they could work in the midfield. Bell's getting the prize fighter, and then thus coordinating the damage with the Fini and the Estelle means that Bell's has 190 power, pretty much static throughout the entire game. And an X with 190 power is going to just KO people, as we see the 12 KOs from Bell's there. I will say, though, Showtime did manage to come out with 8 KOs of their own. So definitely fighting back and definitely showing the spirit that is needed to try and beat a team that is seated a fair bit above them in I guess both weight classes and the tournament seeding. So we'll see if Showtime is able to take their map pick to the advantage here. I believe it's Atlas Lab, correct?
Yeah, I believe that's true, and that's just good old Omega Strikers. So none of this Taiko Temple new wave nonsense. We're just going to see good old Omega Strikers here, as hopefully we will be going to the game pretty soon here. And just going back to that, I think one thing as well, the kind of a quiet carry there, I think, was You Already Lose, the 243 redirects, kind of out redirecting his brawler by about 150 and his midfielder by about 40. Which I think that was incredible. He was like almost 100 up on like the second most. I think like 80 or not, like 80 up, I think, on the most redirects from Showtime, which I believe was Megaverse in that game. So like really just showing the presence of that Fini midfield, that move speed between the Orb Dancer, between the momentum boots as well. Really just shows, I think, the power of this pick right now. That character could be really anywhere at any point and can just play pseudo midfield, especially when you are an X Estelle matchup, which like they have kind of a slower than average move speed. They don't have like the move speed haste per se that other characters might have. I think that having that pseudo midfield really helped in that situation. So honestly, even though they weren't the ones pulling out all the KOs, I feel like that definitely went to Bells in a lot of situations. They were playing incredibly good in that game, and if they pull that in game two, Showtime has to have an answer to that.
It might even turn into a ban scenario. I know a lot of people have been recently complaining about how fast Fini can get, and with 2 speed awakenings, like we said earlier, she can reach speeds of 800. I mean, if you,
Yeah.
it's really difficult to fight against somebody who can just straight up outspeed you. They can run through you and strike before you get the core. They can play back and just kind of play off of whatever you're trying to do and react because you simply just have the speed to cover everywhere. I know a lot of coaches in talk about area of influence, and when your speed is that large, it means your area of influence is like nearly half the map. And in those tight little corridors that Taiko Tempo has, it's very easy to just kind of play back and make sure that it never really gets past you in that midfield area, and that allows Vaughn and Bells to just stay up and beat them up. Might as
Yeah.
well, right?
Yeah, and talking about areas of influence, like let's not forget, Finny's the range character. She's got pretty high ranges on her primary, her secondary, and her ultimate. So like, not only is your area of influence front, like even if Finny was a melee character, her area of influence would be really really high. She's already got the ranges of a midfield, and she's able to influence them out from pretty much anywhere. I believe. I mean, like correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like her secondary and her ultimate have like nearly not quite there like nearly the range of rune pillars, which I think is like
It's a
a
little
pretty good.
farther actually. I think her secondary is nine. I think her ult is 950 and her secondary is 900.
Yeah, regardless, that's like the area of range that we're looking at, and I thought it was a little less, but I guess it might be a little more, and because of that, the Finny's able to get all those redirects, the 30 up or the 40 up on Vaughn, the 80 up on Megaverse, just being able to always basically influence the play. I think that's an incredibly powerful attribute for the Finny to have, and honestly, I haven't been more excited for like a pick, like kind of shaking up the meta than I have this one. I feel like right now, the way that Finny is, she has the potential to really be like a mainstay goalie, like up there with like the Imies, up there with like the Dubus as like kind of like a kind of like an obligatory like goalie that you have to learn. Like every single goalie up in NASL has that, is very comfortable on the pick, like because of the way that meta can shakes out, and like in situations where speed is king, I could absolutely see Finny being like a staple pick. I'm very excited to see that. But it looks like, looking at the thread right now, we do have striker bans coming out very very soon. I expect that to pop up on the screen any moment now. So what do you think Showtime's going to do in here in game 2 to potentially adapt here on, I believe, Atlas Lab?
Well, we can actually see a lot of them on stream at the moment. It looks like Showtime has banned the Vice, and SADBOIS have gotten rid of Xianzu's now. Now, still one of those characters that, even despite the nerf, she's kind of just. I'll say it. She's a creature. That character is just way too. That character is just still way too crazy. The nerfs were good, and I think she's in a much better spot now. But I think she's still one of those characters that, like, as a midfielder, you kind of must know how to play her. Like, it's kind of like now Vice, Estelle are like the three big ones that every midfielder should really know how to play, because it forces certain bans, as we're seeing here, as Showtime have to ban Vaughn's Vice and BOIS have to ban Now's Xianzu, or Xianzu's now. Now's Xianzu, that's funny. But we've seen mostly similar compositions coming out here. Looks like SADBOIS is actually getting the Aimee goalie for You Already Lose, and the legendary Aimee goalie comes back to play with the Kai midfield. Interesting pick from Vaughn there. I think he's just trying to reprove Kai's dominance despite damage, or even possibly through damage, as any ZZZ knowers knows that Kai can actually do quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I think one thing as well is that on a quick strike start, even though you can't pull off the same like really tight dribbles, that because people have also, they're just able to play in that same like area of I don't know, that same area of dribbling, I guess, because everyone's able to just dribble like quickly. I think that the fact that you basically win a lot of open situations because you have that like blazing pace on the Kai, like we're seeing right now, right? We just saw that Vaughn literally just ran right past Joker and Xianzu using that extra movement speed and just got the barrier right off the kickoff because of it. I think in that situation, I could see why this is such a good pick in this situation. That being said, there's a lot of hit stun. There's a lot of stuffing power from Joker and Xianzu, and Aimee's going to really, really struggle with that in the situation where it actually does go back to You Already Lose. So, again, I think this Kai pick is doing like double duty, because he's able to influence the midfield so much and focus almost purely on that, especially with the blazing pace, so that never ever goes into that bad situation. And already SADBOIS are coming out swinging here. The X Maximus gonna sink it right in. The core flip's gonna be preserved here on Vaughn, and right now things are looking good. And like one thing to look at as well, I think the energy advantage, like SADBOIS plays energy so well. They like do what every other NASL team wants to do, and they want to like preserve their flip in every situation, but a lot of times NASL players will kind of like look goofy, but like they know how to do it. Like they know when to blow their flips and when not to blow their flips, and because of that, it always feels like they have a huge energy advantage. That being said, if stuff like that's happening, then they could kiss that energy advantage goodbye. It's unfortunately Vaughn's gonna be gone here, losing his flip in the process. Could have find one reverse power play barrier here, but now with an open map, the black hole now gone. Things are looking a little bit better, but right now, Vaughn's gonna find himself back up. The Crystal Thorns not gonna make it past Bells and Vaughn right now. Bells looking to find that KO here, but good flip keeps him in play. A good evade keeps him in play right now, but he is gonna still be staggered here should Xianzhu or Joker turn their eyes onto him right now. Primary, the barrier beam from Joker, not going to find a KO. Megaverse has that secondary, is going to save the core and send Bells out into the ground right now, but a good Giga Blast is going to put Megaverse into the grave now for these 10 seconds. You already losing Bond in the 2v2, just looking to dribble the core forward, seeing if they can't find anything here with the quick strikes. An excellent barrage from Vaughn, almost takes the entire goal on his own. Glitch Pop not going to find anything. Joker here with the flip. If he gets it, it could be very bad for You Already Lose, who has a flip of his own. Right now, Vaughn, though, trying to look to stay alive. No flip is regenerating. Nothing going to be found here. This flip is going to go wide from the Joker. Right now, Xianzhu trying to score 1v3, but he's not going to find anything. The X Maximus not finding the mix-up that Bells wants to get that goal. Flip here still there for You Already Lose if he needs it. So right now, the defenses of SADBOIS hold strongs right now. Megaverse just trying to clear it away from this X that is about to have flip. Glitch Pop comes out. Flip there goes through Xianzhu, but Vaughn's going to call out that flip and win strike war in the end. You Already Lose still going to be there on the defensive. Xianzhu just trying to find anything. Has the opportunity there. An amazing Rose Warp going to knock Vaughn away and give him the dribble to take that 50-50 shot. And You Already Lose, no cooldowns to react to that. That's going to be a point stolen away here by Xianzhu and Showtime.
Yeah, just going, Xianzhu getting this Estelle, and like we were talking about last match, Estelle, one of those midfielders that can just take over a game, and Xianzhu, one of those players that can just take over a game. So giving Xianzhu the opportunity now to be on this Estelle, be on this kind of game-winning pick almost in many scenarios, is going to prove a lot of, wow, what an unfortunate thing there for Megaverse, but it's going to prove quite difficult for SADBOIS to get around. Even with the strength of Vaughn's Kai. But I will say, one of the more interesting picks here is, I think Kai is one of those characters that's just, what? The sneaky Giga Blast in the corner gets the goal. I mean, I knew it was going to hit, but I didn't think it would just go straight in. I thought it was going to bounce off the wall. What a shot. I don't even know, I'm not sure if Vaughn saw that, but I know Vaughn's the kind of player to see things like that. So I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that was insane. But going back to what I was saying, I think Kai's one of those picks that's just really good into Rasmus, right? Rasmus is really good at dealing with people who want to be on top of him, but doesn't have a ton of hitboxes or ways to just kind of keep a core away from a barrage. So a single barrage just ruins Rasmus's day. As, oh wow, Bells gets the punch into flip combo, and it just goes in, the goal gate's just barely wide enough, and just a massive 2 points out of nowhere from SADBOIS gives them the set as I'm just yapping away.
I mean, yeah, just honestly, just really critical finds here from SADBOIS, finding good KOs, finding amazing angles here, and finding, I mean, shots that Megaverse just doesn't have the cooldowns or move speeds to respond to. And because of that, we're actually gonna have an interesting class cannon pick. I know that Vaughn actually really likes this pick. In situations where you're not going to take a lot of just like passive hits, which like if looking at it right now, the only hit that he's not going to like really ask for by playing up is going to be that Crystal Thorns from Xianzhu. Every other cooldown that's going to be directed at him is going to be very intentional. And so that's a situation where the glass cannon, that move speed, just getting there first in a lot of situations, actually can have a lot of value here. So Vaughn, I think if he's able to play around the cooldowns, as you see right now, he's just going to take over this game here, especially because Xianzhu is going to have a little bit of difficulty by just getting punched.
That was just a SADBOIS coordinated damage moment as everyone just dumped everything into the Joker in the middle of the play and got the thing, but it doesn't matter. Shianzu keeps it forward, strikes it up to Vaughn, and Joker wins the strike war, coming out of the grave and just getting the goal. Walks right up and strikes it right in.
Yeah, Shianzu really, really well played to maintain core possession 1v3, allowing the Joker to catch up in that situation. I mean, at one point, this was like the most hype. Shianzi was like the most hyped up player as we get a nice little SADBOIS angle. But in that situation, he really showed that 1v3 potential that he had against what is probably currently one of the best, if not, currently reigning champions in the North American Strikers League. So that's no small feat to be able to do there. Maintaining that core possession is absolutely beautiful. Able to get another point here for Showtime, but again, things are going to be really, really hard. Another SADBOIS comes out though, and on top of that, takes the core flip from B.O.I.S, so things are looking a lot better right now, but they're not out of the woods just quite yet. Vaughn able to march the core outfield. Shianzu barely able to save the core with a nicely timed strike. Flip comes out from Caleb, looking to reset this aggressive play. Now Megaverse trying to find the core into the hands of his midfielder again. The piercing shot's going to finally take it, find some purchase against You Already Loses. Shianzu has to limp away from the play, loses out on his on any sort of aggression because of his stagger. Now Giga comes out, puts Shianzu down low again, but it's going to be saved away by You Already Lose. Shianzu again going to take a nice little cyber swipe from You Already Lose. Going to take now the X Maximus, but good orb pickup, very lucky to come up in time, means that he's going to still be able to play in this situation if Joker is able to maintain core possession. As right now the bell ringer is going to find the open net for the side of SADBOIS. Now Bell's going to try to find a flip, comes out from Megaverse, barely able to save it. Good situational awareness to know that Bells was going to win that. Bell ringer comes out, not going to find anything. The Joker looking to find a KO, not going to find it though. So right now the ball is going back and forth right now. The cyber swipe not able to find any sort of hit stun that You Already Lose would have liked, and now it's a power play situation. Shianzu though doesn't need any of that, just gonna find the snipe away, and the hit stun's gonna make sure that You Already Lose can't get a response. Now 2-0 up on this set for Showtime.
I will say, Showtime's been doing a really good job of making sure that Bells is not getting the credit for these barriers, or trying to make sure that Bells doesn't keep these rampage stacks if he gets them. So no rampage stacks means that the Awakening effectively doesn't really do anything for Bells here, as he's trying to get this KO on Shianzu, almost getting it. Shianzu trying to burn flip, but not able to make it work. But one thing we didn't talk about at the start of this, F to Shianzu there. But one thing we didn't talk about is the start quick strikes, right? Every single set win is a chance to get Catalyst and probably just win the game almost off that alone. And because of that, everyone just has so much energy, whereas Yao decided to go Twin Drive as a great flip from Vaughn there, just scores it right past 3 on the back of You Already Loses Firewall Sentry. And with these quick strikes in play, the energy economy is just even more necessary, and right now, BOIS is just dominating the energy economy, it feels like.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. I mean, just looking at it right now, Joker does have that flip, but he might not be forced to use it here, which means things are going to look very good for Showtime. But in so many situations, I absolutely agree. Is Megaverse able to find a snipe of his own, giving Vaughn a little bit of a taste of his own medicine in that situation, just finding that goal. And wait, that's the set being taken.
That was the set, yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool. Go ahead, get that MVP Shianzu. Something that's going to be big is that stacks on stacks. I think probably going to be the same thing that's going to pick up. I could see Hot Shot being taken as well if he's preferring it, but I can't imagine. Ooh, interesting. It looks like he decided to just deny the extra special from You Already Lose. I guess they were afraid of that extra kickoff damage that could come from just Imi placing down that turret, which means that stacks on stacks is going to fall to the Joker, who actually hasn't been having too many issues staying alive in this situation. As looks like most people ended up getting what they wanted. I think that the interesting pickup here was the 1-2 punch on Vaughn. I think he has some tech, but I, for the life of me, actually can't think about what it would actually be. I guess he just wants to go get core speed potentially to just catch Megaverse off guard in that situation, but see if that's actually something that'll end up happening. Is right now Vaughn and Shianzu duking it out in the midfield, just looking for any sort of purchase here and trying to find a goal. Is right now the Joker now could have an opportunity. Vaughn, though, playing the defense so well and making You Already lose his life very easy in this situation. This good Giga now keeps the offensive play going. It's going to go right in the hands of Joker, though, but now 1v1. You Already Lose is able to win. The flip does come out from Vaughn, not able to find its way to Bells, who now finds himself in the penalty box. You will already lose 1 or 2 redirects away from getting flipped. Gonna lose 1 barrier, but we'll see if Joker and Shianzu can make it 2. The pass splitter's gonna come out, not find anything right now. Joker does that flip, but you already lose those scoring opportunities. Gonna be barely deflected away by Megaverse. Now Vaughn forced to play for his life here as the flip from Joker looks a little scary right now with no dodge of his own. Shianzu, though, on the flip side, going to be knocked away right now, forced to play defensively. Not going to mean anything, though, as B.O.I.S now with the X Maximus is going to find the KO. Vaughn was sent out here by the black hole. This Megaverse now finds himself in a 1v1 against B.O.I.S. The 1-2 punch right there is actually going to come into play. The core speed actually means might mean the difference there, is now Megaverse unfortunately not able to save it. Does preserve his flip, though, crucially, which will mean a lot coming up in these next points.
Also, Joker getting the stacks on stacks here. He's one of those players that if he's allowed to keep those stacks and keep that speed, he can also just take over the game by being able to get himself the plays and get himself in the positions he wants to be even quicker and put even more pressure on this Aimee. And make sure that Vaughn can't just dominate the midfield like he's been doing. Shianzu, a very good player, but right now it's looking like the Vaughn show almost through and through as Showtime look to try and get this point. Barriers down, passing plays trying to come out, but Vaughn, B.O.I.S, and You Already Lose just proving that they're just defensively too strong at the moment and very difficult to get through.
Yeah, and now it looks like Showtime potentially looking to find something here, but it's actually going to be B.O.I.S here with the flip and the X Maximus. What an amazing save from Megaverse, though. An excellent strike timing, I believe, taking advantage of the Unstoppable as well to make sure that he wasn't hit stun for that play, and that's going to keep the core in play. Joker here with an opportunity to score. The quick strike's there, the setup's there, the flip comes out from Vaughn, though, and that's going to be the end of that point. Right there, it goes right to B.O.I.S, who has the opportunity to shoot up top or on bottom, and in that situation, you just got to guess, and unfortunately, Megaverse guessed wrong there.
And that's the power of the 1-2 punch coming out. 1-2 flip means that that pass is near instantaneous and means Megaverse can't really make that decision to use any kind of cooldown to cover the angle that he wasn't in. And I think one of the reasons Vaughn also took 1-2 punch is one of the things Kai loves to do is catch a pass with barrage into the wall, and that allows the barrage to count as the first hit and thus push the core even faster with the strike. But also barrage just does a ton of damage with 1-2 punch. And as we're seeing here, Vaughn's been just using the barrage mostly for damage to try and pressure Shianzu and Joker, but too much pressure here. Vaughn, no primary, and You Already Lose having nothing left on Aimee's kit means that Shianzu and Joker will be able to put it in and take a point here in this set, looking a little bit more lively than before.
Yeah, that was an insane strike win by Shianzu, by the way. I think he evaded a Giga Blast and then just outright won a strike war 1v2 against B.O.I.S and Vaughn to get that pass to Joker, which I think that was insane and well-deserved point then. Goes to Showtime as right now Megaverse first to blow flip, basically just to save his life in that situation. Now B.O.I.S looking to take this with the X Maximus, gonna actually find it. Shianzu, though, crucially with flip, if Joker just find a little bit to march it downfield, but no, B.O.I.S in the 1v3 situation just silences all of Showtime in that situation. The flip from Shianzu not gonna find it, and that's SADBOIS now taking the second set, basically blowing right through Showtime in that final point.
The strike bait was just perfect there from B.O.I.S. Walked backward, walked forward, baited out 2 strikes at once, and just struck it right past the team that had no cooldowns left to deal with it. And now is rewarded with perfect form. And if anybody remembers that clip of B.O.I.S with perfect form X, just absolutely obliterating, we might actually see it come out here. And however, Shianzu gets the explosive entrance, very good for a cell. Ad rush deny onto Vaughn, possibly just try to go for the KOs anyway and getting those cooldowns back. But oh my god, You Already Lose page is looking very, very strong with the Deadeye pickup. And Joker does get Reptile Remedy, but I'm not sure how much it's going to matter as B.O.I.S is just absolutely beating the stuffing out of him.
Yeah. And one thing that I think that was really smart, actually, was from Megaverse, being aware that You Already Lose has Twin Tribes, which was the starting awakening that no one else picked. And from there knowing that if You Already Lose got a dash range, the stuffing pressure that would come out would absolutely be insane, and he wouldn't be able to hold against it. And because of that, I think that was a really, really good deny. I think a lot of Rasmuses in that situation would have just ended up picking the Might of the Colossus and be like, oh, I have Pauldrons, I could go Might of the Colossus, such a good combo, and it's just good on Rasmus. But like then they would have just been sniped away constantly by you already loses cyber swipes. And so I think that was just really, really good awareness to pick that up and get that deny off. But we'll see if that means anything, as right now it looks like SADBOIS is just finding opportunity after opportunity, and a good deny, good strike bar win from Megaverse is going to keep that final barrier alive, but it's looking so hard right now. Right now, even though they get that final barrier, SADBOIS is actually going to find themselves down a midfielder Joker here, trying to find some sort of purchase here against the SADBOIS. The flip does come out, going to be denied away from Bells though, but that piercing shot from Shianzu does end that offensive play with a victory for Showtime. As right now the bull rush comes through from Bell, is not going to find that cutoff on the pass that he wants. Shianzu trying to find the core up field, but SADBOIS is all there, but it's actually just going to go right through all of them. Joker, or Shianzu, accredited with that goal, I believe, with the piercing thorns or something like that.
I think it was just a strike. I think it was just a strike.
No, it was a bell ringer own goal, I think, from Bell.
I couldn't really tell. It was chaos.
Yeah, there was just so much up there, but hey, you take those. You absolutely take those. And right now, Joker's looking to take a little bit more right now, as he's able to get the first fully barrier of the game.
First barrier, second barrier, a flip right in the net. That's actually the first time I've seen Bells use flip in that close with a near guaranteed goal anyway. Bells is like known to just hold those flips for like as long as possible for the most perfect moment. And yeah, that was definitely the most perfect moment. Oh, what in the world? The Giga Blast. Surprisingly, it doesn't look like Ad Rush procced, even though it looked like the Giga Blast was the KO, but I guess Showtime takes those, but they're looking not long for this world as Joker's looking low. They have no barriers, and it's currently game point for SADBOIS, and series point too, which would be another depressing 2-0 on the day.
Yeah, we'll see though, as right now Shianzu and Megaverse and Joker looking all a lot better.
Oh, that save!
Trying to prevent this from just being a 2-0 day, and yeah, really good save from You Already Lose, but we'll see if that means anything. The piercing shot not able to get the connection that they wanted. The flip here from Vaughn's going to be made out, not going to make it through. Basically the cool and collected attitudes of the Joker and Megaverse right now. Now the Joker, good pass up and in, the piercing shot is going to find it. The flip's going to come out. The X Maximus though keeps the core going for the side of SADBOIS. The flip unfortunately is going to whiff, as right now You Already Lose. The side Glitch Pop almost goes wide, unfortunately, as right now barely saved away by Megaverse, but it's going to be just taken away right there. I think a Giga Blast from the Kai is just going to take away the entire series, despite a valiant attempt from Showtime there. They looked really good in those final sets, but unfortunately, SADBOIS, we're approaching playoffs. They look to be in form, and they're looking good, as per usual.
Yeah, I will say we don't really get to see Bells play much. I know sometimes he streams solo queue, but I personally have not seen him play lately. Maybe he's been playing in the high elo servers that I'm not part of, but that was like one of the strongest Bells showings I've ever seen. I know he's an insane player who can kind of just pick up the game like a bicycle and come back and just be really good at the game, but that was just really good by Bells. He's had some games where he just wasn't performing as well as he could have, but those two games were some of the best Bells play I've ever seen. So I think can anyone stop SADBOIS' current momentum, even though they have lost some games, and they've lost a series too, correct?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, that was just all three of SADBOIS played so well. I mean, the result almost felt oddly inevitable. As much as I love Shianzu, the Joker, and Megaverse, the boys were just on their game today, and it really showed in both games.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. I think Shianzu actually really played well. Joker as well, I think. All three players from Showtime, I feel like if they were playing against like any other team, like they could have potentially just won. I feel like they played so incredibly well. They had so many good mechanical plays. Shianzu as well in so many situations, just like literally 1v3ing SADBOIS. Like, who could say that they've done that on a stage as big as the North American Strikers League, that they just like won a point 1v3 against SADBOIS? I feel like very few players have that honor, but he did it. Despite all that, though, I think Joker and Megaverse, they showed immense control, able to adapt very well to a quick strike start as well, able to get a lot of really great dribbles or work the core around Bells, and you already lose quite a bit. But at the end of the day, it's going to be SADBOIS taking the series as well. I think that they, like you mentioned, they played incredible. They're looking like a very strong playoffs contender to just take it all. And if that continues, who can stop them?
Yeah, that means boys tend to be that team that kind of like goes through the series and they're just going to be a top team no matter what, but they don't always look like maybe the strongest, and then they come into playoffs and they look like the number one team, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That looked to me, a lot of those games, a lot of that looked like playoff boys. So I've watching that. I think they're going to be nearly unstoppable if they're able to continue that kind of play as they were going to.